were no medical experts put on the stand by the defense to tell the other side of the story. For 14 years, Robert had no lawyer willing to look at anything else. They just kept, collecting some, funding from the state, filing these empty appeals, and never listening to their client who kept writing these pitiful letters. Dear judge, would you please give me an attorney who will represent me? 14 years. Right? Robert is only alive now because a group of us volunteered. And I've been working on this case now for nearly 10 years, and most of that is entirely pro bono. I didn't have any preconception about shaky Reiki in 2016, but I started studying, and I learned what you was. And I would love for you to add to that, because what is happening today is there's supposed to be what's called a differential diagnosis, where you consider everything else before you rush to abuse. When Robert was accused, it was the exact opposite. Abuse is the first explanation, and you don't need to look at anything else, because pediatricians were being taught, you see these three things inside a child's head, you can presume they were shaky. That has been completely reversed, and in fact, to date, there's no science to show shaking can cause any of those symptoms. That's where we are today. But they still make this diagnosis. Do you want to jump in here on this point?
If I understood the question correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, was the question whether or not we seek the opinion of other qualified medical experts? Was that the question? Okay, well, that's one I can answer. I will tell you that in the many cases that have been exactly like Robert Robertson's case, the only difference was we wanted at such an early level because these were people who had funding. It is astronomically expensive to hire the best medical experts in the country, many of them, to come testify at any kind of a hearing. Extremely expensive. So if you're poor, it's not happening. The courts aren't appointing these people. But for my clients who have managed to scrape together the funds or had the money, the experts that we have brought forward are far more qualified than the ones operating on the other side of the case. If it's a child abuse pediatrician that's 1 year out of residency, I'm bringing a guy from Michigan that's 35 years out of residency, working at a major children's hospital in another city. So I can unequivocally tell you on these cases that have been won at a much earlier stage, or the way that a criminal case like Robert Robertson's case in a perfect world should have been managed by an attorney that knew what they were doing, is absolutely, you seek the opinion of more qualified experts with more years experience that often testify for the other side, but in your case, they're testifying for you. So I know that there's the jump to think, oh, defense attorneys are just out looking for, some loophole. That is unequivocally not true. And I have I have more than 10 cases, but 10 in the last 2 years where judges have literally, including the gentleman who's standing right here, stopped the hearing halfway through and said, I don't want to hear anymore. I don't know what's going on in Austin, but these children need to be returned immediately. If Robert Robertson had had the benefit of that kind of a defense, we wouldn't be here today. So the experts exist. They don't exist in the same hospitals. They don't like to testify against each other. But Dell Hospital is no different than Cleveland Children. They're all equally qualified, regardless of what state they come from. Their medical education is similar. So to answer your question, absolutely. This man wasn't given that opportunity factually, legally, or any other way. And but for people like this, we wouldn't even be standing here still begging for his life. But as long as he's still living, we can still keep fighting.
I just wanted to add to that the medical experts that we're using to win our cases and get children back, some of those experts are the same experts that were on the team that Gretchen Sweet is using for Robert's case. So we're definitely using experts that are qualified, specifically in areas of pathology and biomechanical engineering. So that needs to be noted. Thank you.
Robert had no defense, no experts, no counter story, nobody even talking to him in the jail. Today, we have this all-star roster of highly credentialed experts who are so outraged by this case, many of them have worked for free. Robert's case is exceptionally outrageous, and yet None of their detailed reports about Nikki's chronic health issues, about her undiagnosed pneumonia, about the respiratory suppressing medications that were prescribed to her by the same doctors who missed the pneumonia the very last week of her life, Phenergan and codeine for a 2-year-old who's having breathing issues. None of this. And you've heard over and over again the mention of the CAT scans. Nothing about the CAT scans have been discussed yet in this case, not a trial, not in any court decision. This is exculpatory evidence because it counters this whole narrative that there was some beating, even if there wasn't shaking.